What's going on, boys? What we're going to be talking about today is my all-time favorite formation in the history of Madden. It's not exactly the same as a slot offset, but this is a variation. Pretty much the same thing. A couple plays are a little bit different. I think we have some really good plays in here. Only really missing one or two plays from a slot offset. This is going to be a slot out of the balanced offensive playbook. If you guys haven't checked out the rest of my balanced offensive playbook, this tight flex formation, one of the best formations, if not the best formation in the game right now. We went over single back bunch. We're going to go over single back trips eventually. We went over pistol bunch, which has some really good stuff in it, and we went over Trey Y flex weak. Now, all these formations are 3 wide receivers, 1 running back, and 1 tight end. But if we make a little change and we put a tight end in here at wide receiver, we can do exactly whatever we want, and we can audible over to gun ace or gun ace slot, which is going to be the formation we're going to be talking about today. And the cornerstone of this formation is the play post. I'm sure you guys have seen it online, if not this year, in years past, because this is one of the best plays in the game every single year. Now, I'm not going to keep audibling back and forth to a slot, but just know that this is a possibility to audible up to from our main formation with the single back type flex. And I want to set my audibles just like this in a slot. I want to go X spot, RPO alert bubble, post, and PA read. So let's talk about the run plays first. We have some really good ones here, and we're going to actually take some guys off of the defensive line for this because I don't want to get screamed at the whole game. We're going to put in some backups just for the sake of this video, but doesn't really matter what the defense is. I really like this base, and we're actually going to operate off the left hash here. We're going to run this to the short side most of the time. I'll show you guys some wide side setups too, but this base is really nice, and if you follow your blockers correctly, you're going to be able to pick up consistent yards off of this. Now, we had the 0-1 trap in the spread offensive playbook for a slot, but here we have the base. I think this is kind of a harder run to shoot. It might not have as much big play potential, but I think it's easier to pick up just a few yards off this run. As you guys see right here, Derrick Henry bouncing off tackles, and we're able to pick up yards very consistently with the base. We also have his RPO alert bubble. This is a really nice RPO. If you can get to the outside, you're going to be able to pick up quite a few yards on the RPO pass. The RPO pass might work a little bit better from the wide side of the field, just so you have a little bit more time to get around the block and get to the outside. A little bit more space to maneuver here. It really doesn't matter what you run this offense from, but this is a really nice RPO, and of course we always have the ability to hand the ball off. So the base and the RPO are going to be the two runs that we're really going to focus on. As far as this formation goes, there are a couple other ones in here that I like quite a bit though. I do want to go over them real briefly. One is the QB power, which is actually a very interesting run call. Now, a couple different ways you can run this. You can run it the stock and try to get to the outside with the quarterback. Don't really like that too much. The blocks don't set up too well. If you want, you can motion either a tight end or a wide receiver over to that right side and run it like that, so you have an extra blocker and actually have a lane to get upfield. As you guys can see, we're able to pick up about 5 to 10 yards right here doing that. But what I like to do is run it to the strong side of the formation, flip it, and then I will motion my running back over with me. And that will give me an extra blocker to that side because the running back does go out and block. If you can crack a block and you're able to get to the outside with your quarterback, there is a lot of big play potential with this. And this is a run that not a lot of people are going to see coming. If you do have a quarterback like William Perry with a whole lot of speed and truz and maybe even fast break on them, this can be a really good run because those blocks are going to hold up way better with an ability like fast break, or if you're playing regs with a guy like Lamar Jackson, this can be really good. Now, you don't have to motion that running back over, but that's really the only guy we can motion over. It won't let us motion this tight end over. So you can run it just like this, but as you guys can see, not the best run, just running it straight left. I really recommend you motion the running back over if you are going to run it to the strong side of the formation. Last run I'm going to go over is the read option. We do have the inside zone. That's really the only other run in this formation. But the read option is pretty good. It gives you the option, obviously, to either keep it with the quarterback and get to the outside. Right there, we read it wrong. Or you can hand it off to the running back, and there's big play potential in this as well. Not a lot of people know there's a read option in this, so do with that what you may. This can be a good run at times if they don't play the quarterback, which they are playing the quarterback pretty much every single time right here. Against formations like dollar, this can be really good because it honestly takes a defensive lineman out of the play. On that right side of the field, they don't crash down on the run as hard. So I would rather run this in the inside zone. But then again, we also have the RPO bubble, which I think is even better. So these are the run plays in this formation. Let's hop into some passing plays. So the first play we're going to go over is the play flood. And this is a pretty good passing play, honestly, especially against like hard flats. Now I'm actually going to run this to the short side of the field. Again, I like to run this to the short side of the field. You can do whatever you want with the running back. If you want to put him on like an in route or an out route, you can do that. I like the out route a little bit better in this situation. If you want to wheel him, you can do that, and or you can put him on a streak out of the backfield. Really, whatever you want to do right here. But we're going to be reading that left side of the field and trying to find this. If that's not there, we have the quick flat to our tight end, which is always really good. And then we have the dig over the middle of the field. If they don't user it, you can throw it in situations just like that. Throw it kind of like a pass lead as soon as he's going upfield as like a streak against a cover 3 or a cover 4 zone. It's pretty good. But this play in general is nice because it attacks a different part of the field than corner routes generally do. This is like that 10 to 15 yard area when corner routes attack that 15 to 25 yard area, which people usually set their zone drops to stop. So a play like flood can be a nice little mix in there if you do play against somebody that's running that double Maple style defense. As you guys can see right here, we are able to complete this every single time. And we also have the quick flat to our tight end if we do decide to throw that, and we're still able to rack it upfield, even against a flat zone KO, and pick up a few yards. These flat routes to the tight end are really, really good out of this formation. Right there, we got knocked out. But that's not going to happen too often. And if you're playing somebody that doesn't have zone drops, then these are going to be open pretty much every single time because you're kind of going to get a bump animation from that slot receiver, and it's going to free up that tight end flat pretty much every single time. But there's not too much to go over with the play flood. Like I said, you can do whatever you want with the running back. If you want to mix up what you do with this tight end, you can also do that. If you have a hot route master, I really, really like tight end trail routes. I think they're really good against both man and zone. They just find a soft little window there against zone coverage, and against man, they absolutely fry. So flood, pretty decent play. Not every down kind of play, but something you can definitely mix in. All right, so the next play I want to go over is X spot, and this play is actually really, really good. We're going to turn match off here, and I'm going to show you guys what this looks like against a cover 4. So what you want to do is, I don't know why I came out in flood again. We're going to go ahead and come out in X spot so I can show you guys this every time. But this play is very, very good against both man and zone coverage. I'm going to show you guys against zone coverage first, and then we're going to get into man coverage. But what I like to do right here is put my outside receiver on a streak and my running back on either an in route, an out route, or a streak. I like the streak out of the backfield. Really like this setup. And the main thing you're going to be looking for is this corner route right about there. Nice little pass lead, able to hit the sideline, and we are in the money. The two really money routes on this play are that really short corner route to the slot receiver and the post over the middle of the tight end. If you can buy enough time, that post, as you guys can see, to the tight end is getting wide open over the middle of the field. That's one of those things that they're going to have to user. If not, doesn't matter if it's man, doesn't matter if it's zone, it's going to get open at some point. As you guys can see, nice little pass lead right there. We're able to pick up about 20 yards, give or take, on this play. And this is a really, really nice zone beating concept. We're going to go over what this does against man here in a second. As you guys can see, we have the flat to the tight end right there. We can throw the flat quickly, or we can wait on that corner route. Either way, that corner kind of plays no man's land in this play. He tries to get between the two routes, and he really doesn't guard anything unless they have their zone drops on. That's how those corners on the outside are going to play in those flat zones. So really nice play right here in X spot against zone. Let's see what it looks like against man. All right, so against man coverage, we can set this play up pretty much the same, but I actually like to set it up a little bit different. We'll go up against a man blitz right here. I actually like to drag this outside receiver and then put my running back on a wheel route against man coverage. And you guys will see why here in just a second. But this corner route fries his man if he doesn't get bumped right there. Now, that is one thing that does happen from time to time. Since these routes are meshing, they kind of bump. If you want to avoid that, what you can do is put this guy on a drag and this guy on a whip route. I like this setup too. And then, of course, your wheel on the running back. But that just kind of avoids them bumping. As you guys can see, the corner route does get open against the man coverage. And we pick up about 15 yards right there. It's a really short corner route, so it's really good against man coverage. Those short corners tend to be really good. If you want to mix it up, you can leave that flat right there. You can put this guy on a streak and this guy on a corner or on a slant. Then we have a slant post over the middle. Really nice man beating play as well. As you guys can see, that tight end post just absolutely fries man coverage. Fries man coverage, one of the best routes in the game against man. You can even do this if you want. A drag underneath as well. That way you have an extra option against the man coverage. And then if you do have time, you're going to be able to throw that running back wheel route over the top against man too. That is a 95 speed limited Rob Gronkowski, so he should not be getting fried against man like that. But that's kind of how it is. You can also post this guy over the top if you want, or put this guy on a whip route. A lot of different things you can do with this play against man coverage, but stock, it's really, really good. The main thing that we're going to be looking for right here, though, is that tight end post route against any kind of man coverage. So that's the play X spot. It's really good against both man and zone. Let's hop into the next one. So the next play I want to talk about briefly is the play smash, and this is one of those plays I actually like to the wide side of the field. And when I talk about the short side, the wide side, I'm going to talk about my two receivers to the short side of the wide side, because those are what's going to make the difference in how the routes are going to play. But really all you want to do against zone is put this outside receiver on a streak and then put your running back on a wheel route. That's how I like to set it up. You have this seam streak over the middle to the tight end if you do have time to throw it. It's kind of a tough pass lead. We got knocked out right there, but it can be a really nice throw here against both man and zone coverage. What we're really going to be looking for, though, is either one of these corner routes. As you guys can see right here, that kind of got played. That's not always going to happen. If they have flat routes, or if they have flat zones on the field, then they're going to play a little bit underneath that. But the corner route on this right side, it's a pretty deep corner route, and you guys can see we're able to get it underneath that outside zone KO, that deep out zone KO, and we're able to pick up about 20 to 25 yards. A lot different corner route in this play than we have in the other plays, as you guys can see. We're still able to get it underneath that deep out zone KO. And that's why I like to run this to the wide side of the field, because that's going to give that corner route more time to develop. Now, this seam streak from the tight end, if you want to motion it over and then leave the running back on that route, you can. And this creates a kind of high-low on that right side of the field. You're going to be able to throw this little swing route to the running back, check down, pick up about 10, 15 yards if you can get an open space and make somebody miss. But if you do run this to the short side of the field against the cover 3 zone, there is something we can do here that is going to fry cover 3. And that is going to be this motion over from Megatron right here. You put him on a streak, and you smart route this route, and you should be able to get that square route over the top. As you guys can see, the zone bites down, and we have a one-play touchdown against cover 3. So I'll go over this just one more time real quickly. This is a one-play touchdown against any kind of cover 3 zone. We'll back it up a little bit so I can show you guys a little bit better. So you put the tight end on the left side on a streak. You motion the outside receiver over onto a streak. You smart route the route from the tight end. If you are on a 1st down and 10, that's going to make him run a little bit deeper, and that is going to give you a outside pass lead over the top for a one-play touchdown against any kind of cover 3. As you guys can see, it is wide open. Easy one-play score against any kind of cover 3 zone defense. Next play I want to talk about is PA read, and this is one of those plays that's really good against pretty much every defense, but you're going to need a little bit of time to throw it. Now, if you are running this to the wide side of the field with your receivers to the wide side of the field, then you can make this a one-play touchdown against cover 4 by streaking this guy out of the slot, and really you just have to have time. That's the one thing with this. It's kind of like a tough throw right there. What I actually like to do instead of keeping that crosser, if you do have like a apprentice or a hot route master, is to put this tight end on a post route, and this should help pull down that quarter zone, and it does, as you guys can see, wide open one play touchdown against any kind of cover for zone defense. Now, if you don't have hot route master or a tight end apprentice on that side, you can do something like this. This is going to be a smart routed in route. It's going to do the same thing against any kind of zone defense. It's going to pull that quarter down just a little bit and allow you to throw this over the top for a one-play bomb. And this is a quarterback that doesn't even have gunslinger, and we're still able to make this throw super easily. So I'll go over that one more time. Again, the crosser doesn't work quite as well, so we'll go post. And if you want to, you can either block this guy for a little bit more time, or you can put him on like an angle route or a flat route. Really, whatever you want to do here. We'll put him on a flat route, see if we can buy enough time with this setup. We dropped back a little bit far, and we did get hit, but as you guys can see, it was wide open for the one-play score against the cover 4 kind of zone defense too. I am going to have a setup here against cover 3 for a one-play bomb, but that is the cover 4 one-play touchdown with this play. All right, so against a cover 3 defense, how we can make this a one-play touchdown. So we're going to streak this receiver right here, or this tight end, on the left side of the field, and there are a couple different ways you can do this, but what I like to do is go ahead and block your running back first, cancel that play action, and then we're going to motion him out and put him on a comeback route. This outside receiver on the left side, I like to put him on a smart routed in route, just so we have a check down over the middle if the bomb is not there. But you are going to need a little bit of time to complete this, and as you guys can see, we have a wide open one-play score against any kind of cover 3 zone defense. So we'll go over that one more time. And again, this is all predicated on you having time in the pocket. These are really nice one-play touchdowns, but again, you're going to have time to throw them. So you can do whatever you want with this receiver on the left side. If you want to put him on like a whip route or something, you can. Motion out right here. If you want to block this tight end, you can. Really completely up to you. But we're going to motion the running back out and put him on a comeback route. Then we just have to buy a little bit of time in the pocket, which we're not going to have right here. But as you guys can see, that post is getting wide open over the top against any kind of cover 3. I'll try to demonstrate this just one more time. Motion out. I'm going to slide to the right and see if I can buy enough time to actually get this to work. I'm going to drift a little bit in the pocket, and I did get hit, but you guys can see it was wide open over the top for a one-play score. I'm not going to go over this over and over again, but this is a really nice play against both man and zone, really. All these posts and this cross are going to do great against man coverage. You can set it up just like this against man. I really like this setup. This post from the slot receiver is really good. That's a bad pass right there. Of course, we didn't have anything to pull that zone down, but this post is really good against both man and zone. I will show you guys that briefly against man coverage, and then we'll hop into the next play. So this post from the slot is kind of a unique post against man. This is how I like to set it up against man. And really what we're going to be looking for is either one of these posts. As you guys can see, we fry on that post. Now we do have route tech on Dion right there, but you don't have to have route tech. Either way, he gets really open on that post route. It is a very skinny post route from the slot, which is a unique route. We also have the tight end route right here. If you do have hot route master or tight end apprentice, I really recommend you have one of those two abilities for this offense. I think it's going to make it a whole lot better. But again, a lot of different things we can do here, but this is my favorite setup against man, and see how good this is. It's really good against man. As you guys can see, we get a ton of separation. Now, if you are playing against a cover 0 style defense, then the post to Megatron is actually really good. And I can show you guys that real quick here too. Now, he does not have route tech, but I'll show you guys against Overstorm Brave. We'll just go ahead and snap it just like this. We're going to go ahead. We'll leave him on that delay route so we have an extra blocker just for a second, just so I can show you guys what this looks like over the top. But Megatron's route does really good against man coverage too. As you guys can see, ton of separation, easy one-play score. So you can really mix it up however you want. If you want to put this guy in an angle route, I think that is a really good route combo too. you have all the routes attacking the same side of the field, but as you guys can see, they were all wide open for one play scores. That is the thing about this offense. You're going to have time in the pocket, but you do have a ton of different guys you can block right here. As you guys can see, post, over the top, easy one play score against any kind of cover 0 defense. And if you're playing like cover 1 or a cover 2 man, it's just as good. We're just going to have to look for our different reads because that over the top read is going to be taken away. So you really shouldn't struggle against man coverage at all in this offense. If you want to do something like this too, you also can. You can block the running back. You can put him on like a check and release. If you want to cancel the play action, completely up to you. These tight end angle routes fry man coverage, as you guys can see with the tight end on the right side of the field this time. Completely fried his man, but we are facing a cover 0 here, so we're going to have to make sure that we have time. That is the only thing about this play, is that the play action takes a second, so you got to make sure you have time in the pocket to hit these reads over the top. So before we get into regular zone coverage, one thing I haven't talked about is match coverage. So I'm going to turn match on just for a second, and I'm going to show you guys how we can take advantage of it. So this play has 2 stock corner routes. So if you're playing like a cover 4 palms or quarters kind of defense, what I like to do is motion the running back out on a streak the outside receiver, and then streak the tight end. And this tight end should get wide open over the top for a one-play score. As you guys can see, easy lob touchdown. Over the top. It's just a match buster. If you have 2 corner routes from slot positions, or in this case, a tight end position and a slot position, streaks on the outside, and then a streak in the middle from like a 5 wide kind of look, it's a one-play score against match coverage every time. So if you are struggling against match, this is the easiest way to beat it. You guys can see the tight end over the middle is wide open for a one-play score. And it's going to work against like cover 6 and cover 9 too. It just might be a little bit more of a tight window because you will have that deep half in the middle of the field. But as you guys can see, it's literally every single time easy one-play score against match coverage. Even if you don't score, it's about 50 yards right there, which should be good enough. And say for some reason they user that in match coverage, you don't have to motion out the running back if you don't want to. But this play in general is good against match because you're going to have this corner route right here. And that quarter zone from that top left safety takes a minute to get down to this corner route. And because of how sharp the corner route is, we're going to be able to throw it against match coverage pretty much every single time. So if they user that streak over the top, then we're going to have that corner route. It's really money against match coverage. You can still put that streak over the top. As you guys can see right there, we are still in the money. And there's a lot of different ways you can mix this up in general. As you guys can see, this post can also get over the top against match coverage right there if you do wait long enough. Only thing is you got to have the time. You can run this play stock generally against almost every defense and it will work. But as you guys can see, there are a lot of different ways to set it up specifically against match. But now that I showed you guys how to completely take advantage of match, let's get into some normal zone coverage. So one thing we have not talked a lot about is cover 2, and this play is really good against cover 2. As long as you have time, you're going to be able to hit this post over the top against any kind of cover 2 zones. As you guys can see, it just splits the middle. Easy one-play score against any kind of cover 2. If you are struggling against cover 2, you can do the same thing that we talked about earlier with streaking the tight end. And then as long as you have that seam up the middle, you should be good against cover 2. As you guys can see, it's a tight end streak is just money against cover 2 out of this formation. Unless they put like a middle third there. And if they do put a middle third there, then we're going to have to check down to our running back on that angle route every single time, unless they user it. And if they user that, we have other options as well. So a lot of different things you can do here against cover 2. You can also smart route this corner route to make it a little bit deeper. Put this guy on a smoke screen. Put this tight end on a streak again, and then you can run the play just like this. In this example, we're looking for the corner out on the right side or the left side of the field, and we're able to pick up another 25 to 30 yards. So you really shouldn't struggle too much against cover 2. Always remember you can smart route these routes to make them a little bit better. You can do the same thing here with this tight end corner out, and you should have either side of the field against that cover 2 zone for an easy 20 to 30 yards. You also have ghost routes from the running back, which I think are really good, specifically against cover 2 zones. We can do the same thing right here. Ghost route, smoke screen on the left side, and then we have our 2 corner routes and our streak up the middle to try to split those safeties. Ghost route is going to actually get played pretty well, but if we have enough time, we're going to be able to hit that corner route on the right side of the field to that tight end. Like I said, cover 2, not that hard to manipulate. It's really harder when people are blitzing really heavily out of it. But these corner routes do so good against cover 2. As you guys can see, there's just a nice little window right there. And a lot of the time, you're going to be able to rack that upfield for an easy one-play score. So if you guys are struggling against cover 2, don't. There are a lot of different ways that you can take advantage of it, even if it's a double Maple style defense. All right, guys. So against the cover 3, you can really run this play completely stock. You have the check down to the tight end, first and foremost. As soon as you see that press animation from that slot receiver, you can throw that check down to the tight end every time. You can pass lead it outside, try to rack it upfield, get some extra yardage. As you guys see, we pick up about 25 right there really, really easily. You can wait and try to hit the corner route on the sideline. You just have to buy a little bit of time. We got screamed at right there, but that was open. You always have the angle route to the running back pretty quickly in the play. Right there, we had to try to fit it in, and it did get knocked out because of that KO on Polamalu, but you can throw it really quick. As long as he doesn't get caught up. Right there, he doesn't, and we're able to pick up a few yards on that. Nice little check down, something that are probably going to use her because even man coverage doesn't play it really well. You have this post in the tight little window. It seems like kind of a crazy throw, but that is a throw you can make consistently once you get the timing down. There's a little window in between the inside third and the outside third over that hook zone that you guys can throw this in. As you guys can see, I'm able to make that throw consistently with the set feet lead ability. Something you need to be running on your quarterback to give you that extra velocity. At this point, you can get Hot Route Master and set feet lead on a few different quarterbacks. Dobbs, Love, and Tua all have it at this very moment. And the CJ Stroud is coming out tomorrow, I believe, has it as well. Might be today at the point that you're watching this, but either way, one other thing I want to talk about with cover 3 is if you do max protect and you have enough time in the pocket, you can hit that post over the top for a one-play touchdown. You just have to have time. As you guys can see, he does get over the top right there. Kind of a bad pass lead by me, but you guys see that there is a possibility to throw that as a one-play touchdown. If you want to make it even more of a for-sure thing, it's a one-play touchdown. As I didn't mean to flip right there, we'll go ahead and flip back. You can streak that slot receiver, and that'll kind of pull that inside third on that to that left side a little bit more to give you a little bit more space to throw that. One thing is that you have to have time, though. Like I said, on all these bombs, you have to have time to actually throw these. Like I said, it's going to be an easier throw with that streak right there, but we didn't have time, unfortunately, so we're unable to make that throw. But you guys see it is getting wide open. It's just a matter of setting up your protection. This time we'll slide to the left towards that tight end, try to buy a little bit more time. This time we're able to, and we see that is a much easier throw with that streak right there. So if you're trying to beat cover 3 specifically, you can streak the slot receiver, but I personally like to leave him on that corner route. You can make the throw either way. I just think it's a little bit easier like that. A couple more setups I want to give you. This is one of my personal favorites. I like to put my left side tight end on an angle route, my right side tight end on a flat route, and then my running back on a streak. And I really, really like this angle route from the tight end on the left side. Gives you a nice little check down option in the middle of the field. You can actually pick up huge yardage on this. This is one of my fourth down money plays, since people like to run that, double Mabel style defense and use her in the middle of the field. They're going to have to use her both the running back streak and the tight end angle route. Right there, we're able to throw the running back streak a little bit later. And if you are on the right side of the field, it's a little bit harder to make that throw, but you can actually leave that tight end corner route and do it like this if you want to, and that's going to give you kind of a window to throw this right about there. It is kind of like an aggressive catch kind of thing, but as you guys can see, it is a possibility. You're able to pick up about 20 yards on that running back streak, and then again, you're always going to have this tight end angle route over the middle as soon as you get past that hook zone. So a few different ways you can set this play up. If you want to, you can put your running back on a wheel route as well, and you try to look for that corner route on the sideline just like that. That works really well against a cover 3 and a cover 4. That's one of my personal favorite setups, since there's something to pull that outside zone on that right side. We're going to be able to make that throw consistently. As you guys can see, he is wide open on the sideline. There are a couple different things you can do. This is one of my personal favorites too. You can try to hit this tight end post a little bit later in the play. Once right there is kind of a tough throw. You can try to hit it a little bit later in the play, but if you run it like this, you can also drag this tight end right here, and you will still have that post over the top, even to the wide side of the field. As you guys can see, we did have the post over the top, just kind of a tough throw right there. A lot of different ways you can set this up. I'm just giving you guys some different examples of how I like to set it up personally. If you guys want to motion this corner route over, it becomes a post. And then you can put your running back on like a table route. You have a little bit of a different route combo right here. You have a post going over the middle of the field, and you're going to be able to throw it a little bit later. If you want to do it like that, maybe you streak the tight end instead of leaving them on that flat route, and then maybe you put your running back on like an out route in this situation. So this is another setup that I will go to occasionally just to mix it up. You want to add some motion in your offense. It will help quite a bit. This is still going to get KO'd right there, but we have a little bit better of an opportunity to try to catch that. So I just wanted to give you guys some different examples of how I like to set this play up specifically. For quick snaps, there are a lot of different ways you can do it. I like this setup quite a bit too. You have that drag late over the middle if you don't have that corner route to the tight end, but of course we have the corner route to the tight end. It's wide open. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on that noti bell so you're notified every time we put another video out just like this. As always, it's your boy Killer Cam friend. Until next time, peace.